All right, welcome. Today we're taking you inside K-INNOSHOW 2025, which is really the hot spot for South Korea's most exciting, groundbreaking technology, or K-Tech. Now, the whole place is buzzing with incredible ideas, but we're going to zero in on one company that's tackling one of the biggest challenges in all of future tech, and that's safety. And that company is called Weflo. Now, these guys are a spin-off from the huge defense and tech company Hanwha Systems, so they've got some serious DNA. Their whole mission is building AI-driven safety solutions for the next generation of how we get around. So let's take a look at the massive problem they're trying to solve. So to really get why Weflo is such a big deal, we first have to understand the challenge they're up against. It's this massive problem that's kind of hidden in plain sight, right at the core of all the cool new tech we're excited about. I mean, we all see it on the horizon, right? A world full of electric cars, drones delivering our packages, maybe even autonomous air taxis zipping around cities. It sounds amazing. So much speed and convenience. But there's a hidden catch. How in the world do you guarantee these incredibly complex machines are safe every single time they take off? The old way of doing things? It just can't keep up. Just think about it for a second. The old way of checking things relies on people literally touching machines with sensors, doing manual inspections. It's slow, it's super expensive, and honestly, it's wide open to human error. For something as complicated as an EV's powertrain or a drone's motors, that old method is it's a disaster waiting to happen. It slows everything down, costs a fortune, and worst of all, it leaves huge safety risks just sitting there. So, how do you fix a problem that big? You don't just patch up the old system, right? You have to build something totally new. And that brings us to Weflo's really brilliant solution, AI-powered diagnostics. Okay, so the core idea here is something called predictive maintenance. The easiest way to think about it is like a super advanced health checkup for a machine. But here's the magic part. Instead of just telling you what's wrong right now, it uses all this data to predict what's about to go wrong. This lets you fix the problem before it turns into a total failure. It's a complete game changer. So how do they actually pull this off? Well, Weflo's tech is basically a two-part punch. First, you've got these proprietary non-contact fusion sensors. They gather all this amazing data, vibrations, sounds, temperature, without ever having to physically touch the machine. Then, all that data gets fed into their vertical AI. And this isn't some generic AI, it's a specialist. It's been trained with deep knowledge of mobility systems, so it knows exactly what tiny little warning signs to look for. It can make these incredibly sharp, accurate calls about a machine's health. Okay, so the theory sounds fantastic on paper, but does it actually work out in the real world? Well, you know what they say, the numbers don't lie. Let's dig into the proof. Our first real-world example comes from the drone industry, which is just exploding right now. Think about it. Every single commercial drone flight, especially for deliveries, needs a pre-flight check to make sure it's safe. That takes a lot of time and a lot of people. And the potential for improvement here is just enormous. If you look at the projected number of drone deliveries just in South Korea, doing those inspections the old-fashioned manual way would take almost 500,000 hours of work every year. But with Weflo's automated system, that number just absolutely plummets. I mean, the difference is just staggering to see. To put a hard number on it, 320,000 hours. That is the amount of time saved every single year. It's a massive, massive jump in efficiency, and it also makes the whole process safer by taking human error out of a critical step. But this technology isn't just for things that fly. It's also making a huge difference in the car world, especially for inspecting those complex electric vehicle powertrains right on the assembly line. On the factory floor, Weflo's system cuts the time it takes to do these crucial quality checks by more than half, over 50%. For car makers, that means they can produce more cars faster at a lower cost and roll a better, safer vehicle off the line. And you can bet the industry is paying attention. Weflo is already working with major players, like the big drone service leader HotelL and the car-sharing giant SoCar. This isn't just a cool idea in a lab. It's a validated business with real traction. And they're getting recognized for it too, with things like a CES Innovation Award. Now, a technology this advanced and this powerful doesn't just appear out of thin air. It has to be built by a team that has some seriously deep expertise. This right here is Weflo's core motto, and it just perfectly sums up their entire mission. They truly believe that you can only unlock real innovation in mobility once you can absolutely guarantee that it's safe. Safety is the foundation for everything else. And just look at the team they've brought together to do this. It's a powerhouse. You've got PhDs from KAST, which is like the MIT of Korea, mixed with research veterans from giants like LG and Hanwha. And they're not just looking inward. They're pulling in experts from Harvard Medical School and leaders from the advanced air mobility scene in the US. This mix of academic brains, corporate muscle, and global vision is really their secret sauce. And all of that world-class brainpower translates directly into a rock-solid intellectual property portfolio. With 33 patents and still counting, their technology isn't just clever, it's highly defensible. That creates a huge barrier for any competitors trying to catch up. So what's next? Well, Weflo isn't just thinking about today or tomorrow. They're actually building a foundational piece of Korea's entire technological future. And they have a really clear and ambitious roadmap to get there. By 2025, the goal is to wrap up major proof of concept projects and help actually set the industry standard for this stuff. Then, by 27, they plan to expand to global maintenance organizations and manufacturers. And the big one, by 2030, is to be a key player in the full commercial launch of advanced air mobility. And they are not doing this alone, which is a huge deal. Weflo was selected for the Super Gap Startup 1000 Plus program. This is a major national initiative by the South Korean government, designed to find and grow companies that have the potential to become true global leaders in deep tech. It's about as powerful a vote of confidence as you can get. And this really brings us to the final, most important question. As our world, our cars, our deliveries, even our taxis becomes more and more automated, the question of trust is everything. Who are we going to trust to make sure it's all safe? The answer to that question is what will define the next chapter of mobility, and companies like Weflo are working to become that answer. And that kind of incredible ambition is what's being supported by the Ministry of SMEs and Startups. They are dedicated to helping South Korea's K-tech companies grow and empowering innovators like Weflo to turn these bold visions into global realities. Thanks for joining this explainer.